All right, ladies, are you ready to be a bench baddie and start stacking up them plates on that bench? I got you, because today I'm gonna teach you how to get a stronger bench press. I'm basically gonna teach you everything that I know, and this is all things that has helped me get a bigger bench, so hopefully in turn it'll also help you guys as well. This video is more so for people who already know how to bench press, but if you guys want a separate video on how to bench press and basically give you more of like a beginner basic version of it, I can totally do that. But this is kind of more for people who already know how to bench press and they just want to increase their strength. I will say the audio was shit at the gym. I am gonna still use some of those clips, so if the audio starts kind of sounding a little funny and off, I apologize in advance. So we're just gonna get straight into it. Before you even unrack the bar, there is one important thing that you need to get down first, and that is your setup. Your setup on the bench is super important, because if you have a weak setup, you're gonna have a weak press. And if you have a strong setup, it's gonna give you more power, more control, and also less risk of injury. So there's gonna be 4 things you need to do to have a good setup. Number 1, arch your back. Yes, this is necessary, especially if your goal is more so strength building rather than trying to target that specific muscle. If you want to target the specific muscle, then I definitely recommend doing a flat bench press. But if you're just looking to increase your bench strength without getting injured, then I recommend doing an arch. A slight arch is just gonna keep your shoulders safe, and it's gonna put you in a stronger position to be able to press. So think chest up and shoulders locked back. And this isn't just for power lifters, it's for anybody who wants to lift efficiently. And your arch doesn't have to be hella crazy and all exorcism and shit. Like, just a slight arch, as long as you have those shoulders tucked in and locked in a good position, you're naturally just gonna have that arch, especially because you're gonna use your legs to drive yourself back to tuck yourself in. But if you have the flexibility, your arch is probably gonna look different than somebody else's. Number 2, you're gonna want to tuck your shoulder blades in, and you want to stay tight. So think about pulling your shoulder blades together and locking them in. I kind of like to think of it like a cable row. When you're doing a cable row and you're squeezing your back, it's pretty much like that, and you're just gonna stay in that tight position with your chest up. This is gonna give you a more stable base to press from. That way, you're not wobbling all over the fucking place. I've seen some people who are like wobbling, and it's like, bro, you ain't tight. You ain't locked in. Number 3, bar path is key. The bar should be coming down to like your lower chest area, not to your collarbone or above your chest. It should be coming down below your chest. And then when you press it up, you're almost creating kind of like a J. You're not actually pressing straight forward. You're actually creating a slight curve when you're pressing back up. This is basically just gonna keep the bar in the strongest pressing path. And number 4, to me, this is like the most important part. I mean, everything's important, but to me, this is probably the hardest thing that I had to get used to when I first started bench pressing, especially when I first started powerlifting, is using leg drive. A lot of people don't think about this, which is why sometimes people's feet go up, or they kind of like don't have their feet stable and they're like moving it around or picking one leg up, trying to really push that weight, that heavy weight off of them. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna plant your feet and you're gonna push through your heels as you're pressing. So it's almost like you're pushing yourself to slide back into the bench. I know it sounds weird, but when you get the hang of it, trust me, you're gonna be like, holy shit, leg drive is everything. So using leg drive, it's basically gonna help transfer power to your entire body, not just your arm. But if you guys need like a more detailed video on how to do leg drive and how to perfect it, I can definitely do a separate video for that. Just leave a comment down below. Oxy Shred Break. This is literally my favorite flavor right now. If you guys want a good energy drink, a good clean energy drink that's not gonna crash you out, This is it. Coach Jessie. All right, now we're gonna move on to strength building variations. These are super, super helpful. I'm just gonna show you guys the ones that I know and the ones that worked for me. And I'm gonna name them from my least favorite to my number one favorite. Can't do a program without it. So get ready. Number one, my least favorite, but I'm not saying it doesn't work, okay? It's just me personally, I don't like it and I feel like I'm wasting my time with it, but I do know a ton of people who use this method and it's helped them tremendously, especially when it comes to getting used to heavy weight. And just because something doesn't work for me doesn't mean it's not gonna work for you or somebody else. So same thing with you. If something works for you, that doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna work for everybody else. So everybody's gonna be different. Everybody has to train different. Everybody's progress is different. So do not compare yourself to anybody else because that is just gonna mentally slow you down and we do not want that. We do not want that. If you're gonna compare yourself to your old self, period. So yeah, my least favorite one, it's called a board press. So you basically use like this rubber type shit and you attach it to the barbell and it has like different thicknesses, so you can press using like a 3-inch or a 4-inch, and that basically just means the room that you have between your chest and the bar. And all this does is basically stops you from going all the way down to your chest. It helps people who are struggling with that last few inches of the lift, and it also gets people used to loading up heavier weight than they're used to because they're not having to go all the way down to their chest. All right, number two, my second least favorite, and it is close grip bench. For me, when I bench press, I'm more of like a wide grip type of gal. So when I have to do close grip, I'm just like, fuck. But do I still train close grip? Yes, I do. If you have trouble locking out at the top and you have weak triceps, this will definitely help you a ton. So close grip bench is basically just putting your grip closer to be able to hit your triceps more. Okay, number three, we're starting to get to some of my favorite, and it's tempo bench. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, bro, you like tempo bench? Like, who are you? Because I know a ton of people who hate tempo anything. For me, it's kind of like Bulgarian split squats. You know, it's a love and hate relationship. They're really good booty builders, but goddamn, do I get tired as fuck. Like, I am out of breath. I'm dizzy. I feel like I'm gonna puke after Bulgarian split squats. So that's kind of like what tempo bench is to me. I love them because it's helped me learn how to control the weight going down and keeping everything just locked in and tight. Basically, what a tempo bench press is, you're controlling the eccentric, and that's just a fucking fancy way of saying you're lowering the bar hella slow, and you're counting to either 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 2 seconds, whatever your program says. That's basically what it is. So if you're bringing the bar down and you have a 3-second tempo, it'll be 1, 2, 3. This is just gonna help you build that muscle control and make you stronger in the eccentric, aka lowering phase. And I always tell people, control the weight, don't let the weight control you. Now we're on to number 4. That is pause bench. So what pause bench is you're basically pausing the bench on your chest for 2 to 3 seconds and then you press. This basically builds explosive power off the chest. So if you are somebody who struggles at the bottom of your bench press, this is gonna be a game changer for you. Okay, now moving on to the last and final one, and this is my number 1 favorite, has made a significant difference when it comes to my bench press, and that is Spado press. Spado press is my bestie. We're like this, bro. This has helped me stay in control, tight, and prevented me from not dropping the bar on my chest. And what Spado press is you're basically bringing the bar down like an inch off your chest. So you're not touching your chest all the way, you're stopping like an inch or 2 before you hit your chest. Okay, that's it for strength building variations. Now we are moving on to accessories, because you gotta train train the muscles that are actually gonna help you bench more. Because a strong bench isn't just about pressing, you also need to build the muscles that are going to support that lift. So the 4 main ones that I focus on when it comes to building my bench strength is triceps, upper back, shoulders, and of course, core. For me, I think core is a necessity. Like, you need a core strength for every single lift ever. And I'm gonna show you guys some of my favorite exercises that I like when it comes to building that muscle to support my lift. So for triceps, this is gonna help you with lockout power. I love doing weighted dips. If you can't do weighted dips yet, that's okay. And I also love doing tricep push downs. For upper back, this is gonna help with stability and strength. I've heard it somewhere. I forgot who said it. I think it was Jeff Nippard. I'm pretty sure it was Jeff Nippard, but he said a bigger back equals a bigger bench. My #1 favorite exercise for upper back is pen lay rows. Pen lay rows have been a game changer for me. And I actually got that from Jeff Nippard as well. So shout out to him for putting me on with pen lay rows, because I can't live without them now. Another one would be face pulls. I love face pulls, especially because when you're doing face pulls, you're almost basically getting into that same position that you need to be in when you're on the bench. So why not work out those muscles, right? #3 is shoulders. Shoulders, not only are they sexy when you have them, but this is gonna help with stronger pressing power. My #1 favorite exercise for this is gonna be overhead press. I feel like a weak ass bitch when I do this lift. Like, that shit humbles me, bro. Especially the first time I tried it, bro, I couldn't even do the bar. Like, I'm slowly getting stronger on overhead press, but I didn't realize how hard that shit was until I actually tried it. But it's been forever on my program now, and my goal is just to keep getting stronger and stronger. Another one that I really like is lateral raises. I love doing lateral raises, especially supersetting it with partial raises. Like, that shit burns, bro. It burns. Last but not least, core. Core is super important when it comes to any lift, and my favorite exercises for that is #1, ab rollouts. A lot of people hate ab rollouts, but I've come to really love them. Another one is planks. I hate planks, but you gotta do them. Lastly, leg raises. I love leg raises. I do mix it in with knee raises because I'm just not that strong yet. Those are definitely a go-to for me. All right, so you need to have a plan. You need to have a plan to get stronger, to actually get stronger on bench press. You can't just walk into the gym with no plan and expect yourself to get stronger. Like, you have to plan it out. So everybody's gonna be different. I'm just gonna give you recommendations. So like I said before, just because something works for me does not mean it's gonna work for you. But hey, it might work for somebody else. So that's awesome, which is why I'm sharing this information. But for me personally, I have to bench at least 3 times a week, sometimes even 4. Like, I have to bench a lot in order for me to keep that bench strength and for me to increase my bench strength. There are other people that can bench once a week and they'll be fine. But if you want to build your bench strength, I recommend benching 2 to 3 times a week. And don't just lift heavy every single time. You want to mix heavy, moderate, and technique focused days, because the more frequently that you bench, the more progress. Remember that. Also have to progressively overload. This is so important, and not just with bench press. This is literally for everything. So you should be adding weights or reps or sets every week. And remember, small jumps equal big strength gains. Please deload. And for those of you who don't know what deload means, basically if you're feeling super weak, slow, or you feel like you're plateauing, take a lighter week to recover. And the most important part, please eat enough and recover. Rest, listen to your body. Strength gains don't just happen at the gym. You have to fuel your body. You have to prioritize sleep, because your muscle needs food to grow. So don't be afraid to eat. Now, to end this video, I do want to go over some common mistakes that I've seen and that I've personally done, especially when I first started building strength for my bench press. Is #1, bouncing the bar off my chest. Yes, I used to bounce the hell out of the bar when it touched my chest. So make sure you're slowing it down. You're not just dropping the bar on your chest. Control that shit. If you can't control it, lower the weight. Simple as that. Number 2, flaring your elbows. And that's just gonna put unnecessary strain on your shoulders. So try keeping your elbows at least 45-degree angle. Number 3, lifting your feet up from the ground or just like wiggling your feet. Just moving your feet around a lot while you're trying to lift the weight. And number 4, not controlling the eccentric. I had this problem when I first started as well. I would literally just drop the bar on me and just hope for the best. But I've learned to control it with tempo. And like I said, control the weight. Do not let the weight control you. All right, ladies, that's it. If you lock in and get your setup right, train smart, stay consistent, your bench is gonna skyrocket. So don't be afraid to lift heavy. Do not be afraid to take your time and slowly increase the weight. Don't let your ego get to you. Progressively overload, be smart about it, and go slow. And remember, más fuertes juntas. Leave a comment below and let me know what your current PR is. I'm very curious. I want to know what your guys' PR is and what your next bench goal is. Let's all support each other, hype each other up. You guys can follow me on Instagram and tag me on your next bench PR. That way I can share it. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the video and don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace.